Imagine a place so dangerous, so unforgiving, that even pirates, conquistadors, and engineers gave up trying to conquer it. A place where the jungle swallows people whole and spits out only their stories if they're lucky. This isn't a scene from Indiana Jones or The Revenant. This is real. It's happening right now. Over 800,000 people this year alone are attempting to cross the Darién Gap, the most brutal stretch of land in the Western Hemisphere. Why? What drives someone to walk into a jungle where snakes, cartels, crocodiles, and death all wait patiently? Welcome to Bizilon, your source for stories that matter, stories you won't forget. And this is a story that you should never forget. The Darién Gap is a 106-kilometer missing piece in the Pan-American Highway. Stretching between Colombia and Panama, it's a place so deadly, even Google Maps blurs it out like a government secret. There are no roads, no bridges, no cell service, only mountains, rivers, jungle, and death. It's been called El Tapón, the plug, and not without reason. In the last few years, what used to be a crossing for a few thousand desperate souls has turned into a river of humanity. According to Doctors Without Borders, over 520,000 migrants crossed in 2023. This year, that number is expected to hit 800,000, including children under 5, pregnant women, and families dragging everything they own on their backs. Sounds insane, right? But the real question is, what's pushing them in? For many, the Darién isn't the first choice, it's the last resort. Venezuelans are fleeing food shortages and salaries of $5 a month. Haitians are escaping political collapse and gang wars. Ecuadorians are running from spiraling violence, where even TV stations have been hijacked by cartels live on air. Then there are the sanctions imposed by the US on countries like Cuba and Venezuela. Sanctions are meant to topple regimes, but they often hit civilians hardest. With jobs vanishing and inflation soaring, families are left with a cruel choice: stay and suffer or walk through hell. One woman from Haiti told The Guardian, "I'd rather die in the jungle than see my kids starve back home." That's not desperation. That's determination weaponized by hopelessness. The business of suffering. Here's something they don't put on postcards. The Darién Gap is now worth $820 million a year to criminals. Welcome to the dark side of the traveler. At the heart of it is the Gulf Clan, Colombia's most powerful drug cartel. They run the trails, tax every guide, and even issue wristbands like it's some kind of deadly Disneyland. A ferry ride? $100. A guide? $500. A slightly safer trail? That'll be $2,000, please. It's pay to play or get left behind. And yet people pay and pay and pay. Just last week, Al Jazeera reported that migrants in Necoclí are selling wedding rings to afford the trip. You want dark irony? The poorest people on earth are making gangsters millionaires, one jungle step at a time. Welcome to Death Mountain. The crossing takes 4 to 12 days, depending on your stamina and your luck. Along the way, migrants face rivers that flood without warning, mud that swallows boots whole, and snakes that can kill in minutes. The highest peak is called Death Mountain because apparently Slightly Inconvenient Mountain didn't capture the vibe. There are stories of children being swept away in rivers, their parents forced to keep walking, of people bitten by snakes with no one to help, of women raped, robbed, and left behind. Doctors Without Borders treated hundreds of sexual assault victims last year. They estimate one rape every 3.5 hours. And that's just the ones who made it out alive. There are corpses in the rivers, in the mud, under fallen trees. A Panamanian official told the New York Times, "We stop counting bodies. We start counting survivors." Welcome to Earth's deadliest no man's land, where the jungle isn't just dangerous, it's cruel. The final stretch. For those who survive, the journey isn't over. Once out of the jungle, migrants are herded into reception camps. Overcrowded, underfunded, overwhelmed. A doctor from Médecins Sans Frontières said their feet are shredded, they're starving, and still they keep going. Most head north, into Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, then through Mexico. At each border, more danger, more extortion, more death. Mexico has seen a 70% increase in violence against migrants. Some are kidnapped and ransomed. Others are sold to traffickers. Women beaten until they miscarry. According to Reuters, gang members in some regions now trade in migrants the way others trade in drugs. Human suffering has become a commodity.
So, what can be done? You might ask, why don't they stop?
The answer is simple. They can't. These are people Who would rather risk drowning than starving? Who would rather walk 100 kilometers through a jungle than die slowly in silence? But there are solutions. Some say open, safer legal pathways. Others call for development in origin countries. One thing is clear: trying to block migration doesn't stop it. It just makes it deadlier. As Adam Isaacson, a migration expert at the Washington office on Latin America, said, when governments close legal doors, people start using the windows, and those windows are often on fire. The Darién Gap should be unpassable. It was designed by nature to keep people out, but today it has become a road of last chances, a pipeline of pain driven by policy failures, economic collapse, and human desperation. The world watches this unfold with passive horror, but behind every number is a name, a story, a mother, a child. Some make it, some don't, but every single one walked into that jungle hoping for a future. And maybe that's what should scare us most, that hope could drive someone into hell itself. This is Bizilon. If you found this video insightful, like, share, and subscribe, because stories like this aren't just about borders, they're about us. And if you've watched this far, here's a question for you. Would you walk through the Darién Gap if it meant a future for your child? Tell us in the comments. Let's talk.